Hi there MotoGP fans, welcome back to the channel. You are here with the Architect and we're playing MotoGP 21 on the Xbox. We are here in our new career mode, so we haven't played career mode yet, so we've done all the historical championships before. If you haven't seen them guys, go back and have a look at the channel playlist and look for those historical championships. But now it's time for Managerial Career Mode, so we're going to take our first look at this and we're going to start on this screen here. So I assume we're going to start from Moto 3. And then we will be selecting our personal manager. We're able to contact other teams who we may be interested in joining. We're going to get involved in winter testing as well and bike development. We also have to manage our technical staff and our chief engineer and a data analyst as well, so they can collect data on the bike. And then again we've got junior teams, so once we reach Moto 2 we can then set up a junior team and manage those teams in the lower classes. Okay, so let's continue. So debut class, Moto 3. So here we can choose a full calendar or the official calendar for 2021, which is what we're going to do. So we'll select that, and then we have to select our personal manager. So our personal manager's job is to collect offers from other teams that we could be interested, and they've got the job of actually signing those teams up and agreeing the contracts for us to sign. So we need to select a personal manager. Personal managers are ranked. I assume S is the best, and obviously C on the left hand side is the beginner kind of personal manager, the junior personal manager I would say. So then we go into the menus where it talks about what the costs are. The resumes it's got here, so it tells us a little bit about their experience. So we'll look out for that, and then personal manager skills as well. So are they a negotiator? Do they have the ability for negotiating our salaries and getting a really good offer on our salaries, or do they have the ability to negotiate and convince teams for us to ride with? Or do they have the ability to get new teams interested for us to sign up? So they're the kind of skills we need to look out for in our personal manager. I think as we are in Moto 3, we probably want to be leaning towards negotiations to convince teams to sign on with us, or the ability to find new teams who are interested in signing on a new rider. So there'll be some of the skills that we'll be looking for. So Emma, her skills lean towards more about the salary, and for her to get a good deal on salary options, so we're not too worried about that for now. Lucas, he's got more skills in the ability to complete and convince the teams to sign on a new rider, which is good. Madison has got the other ability to find new teams who are interested in signing a new rider. We need to find someone in the middle like Antonio, who's got a bit of both there. He's okay at negotiating deals, and he's also okay at finding new teams who require new riders, so he could be a good option to start with. And then we got Alex Suka, who again is really good at negotiating salary and finding new teams. So I think for our needs starting out, we're going to go for Antonio Neto, and we're going to sign him to start with. So then we get the option to either establish a new team, or we can search contracts with the factory teams. So I think as we're starting out in Moto 3, we're going to sign on with a factory team if we can, rather than start with our own team. So when we're signing on with a team, it gives us a contract, and in that contract there are certain things that it talks about, so annual salary being one of them, so we need to look out for that. We always want a good salary. Also a bonus and a championship bonus, so if we meet all those goals, they're the kind of things that we can get that we need to be looking out for. Team expectations, so where do we need to come in the team orders? team orders. Where do we need to come when we finish the championship? Where do we need to come in each race? And our qualification goal is the 3rd row. So they're the kind of things we need to look out for there. Who have we got then? Husqvarna, Owl Ride, who's on a KTM. So what was that negotiation? So we don't get a lot of money for that one. For Owl Ride. It's probably the worst deal there, isn't it? So we're looking for the best offer. So Honda Team Asia is the next best, so it's a no-brainer this time round. We're going to have to sign with Husqvarna. That's not a bad deal actually for Moto3. It's a good bike. Our qualification goal is 3rd row, so our championship goal is top 5, race goal is top 10. So 1 season, so termination clause doesn't really matter to us because it's only going to be for 1 season. So I think we should just accept that. I don't think we have any other offers. So I think we're just going to go for this one, Husqvarna. I think this is the best, so we'll go for that. So it's not a bad looking bike. Now in terms of our suit, everything looks okay in terms of our colour coding with the suit. Our gloves maybe need a slightly different colour, so we'll change our gloves quickly. Only the colour, I think it needs to be more like that, doesn't it? So we'll choose that. So what have we got here then? So we've got the calendar, so it gives you a step-by-step talk through the menus, I think. So we know about the calendar, continue on that. We know about the stand-ins, continue contract management, so that's our new manager, new personal manager. So if we want to manage our personal manager, that's where we do it. Technical staff management, that's where we manage our technical staff. It's a bit of a no-brainer really, isn't it? And headquarters. So this is about our management, engine management, frame management, development, research and development. So top left hand corner as well, we got our customizations if we choose to customize our rider again and our colours. So we'll stick in the home menu. So let's have a quick look at what we've got here then. So our stand-ins, let's go in our stand-ins to start with. So these are the guys who we're up against, all of the Moto3 current riders for 2021. And are we the only one on Husqvarna? No, we're not. Romano Fenati and Adrian Fernandez. So they're our teammates. Fenati and Fernandez. I can remember that. Okay, so a personal manager. So a quick look in here just to see what we've got available to us. Yep, so we've got everything that we need in the menu there for personal manager. And then we got these other menus for search, contracts, establishment of new teams and proposals received, which we don't have any yet. And then my contract, we can have a look in there and this tells us all about our own contract. So that's all good from that perspective. So we got lots of information. So we always know where we stand. At right trigger, we get our finances. So we'll break that out a little bit so we can get a view of our finances and our entourage. So that's all good. So it is pretty much the same as it was in the previous game. So left trigger, we can then see our calendar. So we can look from here. Week 10, lost sale. So we've got a few weeks to start some development off in this first stage of the game, which we'll be doing in a second. I'm just going to have a quick run through these menus. Technical staff management, let's have a look what's in here, because I'm assuming we've got some as part of the team out of the box. So technical staff, the chief engineer and our data analysts work together and collect research data and development tests from the development tests that you perform on the track. So what we need to do, what we need to make sure here is that our synergy is the maximum amount possible. So these guys need to be very similar in terms of their skill sets. So as we can see from here, our chief engineer and our data analysts scored the same in engine and in frame. So the synergy, it is as much as we can achieve between them both. And what that tells us is that we should be really focusing on engine and frame development and maxing out those points and the speediness of research and development. So that's what we need to be focusing on when we look at our development. Okay. So when we click OK on that, we've got a few menus available for our chief engineer. It's just a bit of a rundown of the skill set, and we got the same as well for our data analyst. So we'll keep these for now. When we look at our synergy of our staff, we've got engine research, frame research. So engine and frame research is all we've got available to us in terms of data, because they don't score any points or any skill points in the other two areas. So that's where we need to be focusing our development, guys. Engine and frame. So speaking of development, let's go and have a quick look at what we've got started or not started. So here's our development areas, and across the top, if we go one more across, we can look at our research areas. So we can have research engineers looking at particular research, R&D in the engine space. So it tells us that we can assign our staff to the 4 areas of research and collect the data and develop and install the components within those certain areas. And the more stuff that you've got on those areas, the more research data you'll be able to accumulate. So what that means is the more research people that we've got working on a particular part of the bike, when we do our tests, it will max out research data points that you get. So if you don't have anybody working on there, you're just going to get very minimal research data available when you run your tests. So we've got to be mindful that when we do testing, that we focus our engineers, if we're not developing anything, onto research basically. And then the pistons that we've got there in the information page under research staff, I think that's the development area. So that's when we focus people on the installation, the development of the components. So we just need to be mindful of that as well. So let's go back to development. So we don't have anything under development at the moment in either frame or engine. I'm not sure where our points are. Where's our development points? Can't really see any. So maybe we need to move on a wee. Let's see if we can just start something. No, so we can't start. Okay, so we can't start anything yet, but our development points that we've got currently is that 140 number that you can see there on the screen. So I think we're just going to have to move on a week. Let's go into calendar, advance to the next week and see what that does. So week 2. So when we're going to, let's go and have a look, see if we can start any development yet then. have we got enough research points? So we've still got 140. There's actually a couple more options down at the bottom there now. So if you press the Y button, you can actually distribute the staff by efficiency. So it will do it for you. So we might just do that. And then we can press X as well to assign all staff to engine. So we want to max out our efficiency, so we might let the gaming console decide how efficient we should be. Let's move on for another week. Okay, so now we've got a green notification there that tells us, I think, that we've got enough points to start to be able to develop a frame, maybe. Yes, so we've got a little green spot there that tells us we can start development of our frame. So we're going to do that. I've got 400 requirement points there, so we'll develop and install that. So this is where we had to add our staff. So what I want to do is I'm probably going to hit the X button to automatically assign the staff and see what that does. So I think it's assigned all 4 staff to the development of this engine. Is it 4? No, we've got more. So it's also added the engine people on there as well. So let's leave that. So we can develop that node. That's in development. Let's go back. So you can see now when we look at the research department that it's actually moved everybody into development now. So the X button does work. So sorry guys, I'm just trying to feel my feet around these new menus, but let's go and advance another week and see what it gives us. So into week 4. So something happened there. I'm not sure what that was. I think we've just been paid, or we've paid out some budget. We've paid our staff, I think that's what it's just told us. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, expenditures. So I think we just paid out. I think that's what happened. I'm not sure. What does that calendar say? Payment of salaries, 2,000 credits. So that's what's going to happen on week 4. Let's advance. And then on this week we've got the development of that frame component. So let's do that. Right, let's go back again and see what options we've got. So we've got to be careful in the first part of the season. We've got to make sure that we get everything in place ready for a good start to the season. So we're just going to be careful through these menus to start with, guys, so please bear with me. Let's go and have a look at our engine development now, because we can now develop one piece of our engine. We've got the requirements, so we'll develop and install that and automatically assign staff. I like this automatically assign. In the previous game we had to do that manually and it was a bit of a bloody nightmare, if I'm honest. So happy with that. So let's start that node. Nobody in research now. So again, all we need to do here, guys, is when we go into testing, so we can obtain those research points, we need to make sure that we got staff in the research department to maximise out on our points so we can do more development. So staff management, let's have a look if we've got any better candidates. So one new candidate available. So who's available? C++. So where's his skill? So he's got a really good skill set in the frame department and in the engine. So actually we could go for this guy. Because in terms of synergy, he works for us. His synergy is still better than our previous chief engineer, but they're in the same space. So he'd be a good person to sign on right now. So let's take him on. I'm not worried about money yet. We just need to do some races, and hopefully he'll earn his own money. So let's see who we've got here. So Fernando now, so his points have moved into the aerodynamic space and electronics. So in terms of our synergy, we're going to lose synergy. So we are better off staying at the moment with our data engineer Tess. So we'll hang on to her for now. So let's move on another week. So there isn't anything happening there, so add another week. So paying salaries. So advance to the next week. Let's just have a look in the calendar because I think we're coming up to the sale, aren't we? So we've got another engine component done, or another component done, which is the engine component, right before we go into the sale. So now we're at the sale week, which is good, but let's have a look again just to refresh. Let's see if we've got another data analyst. We're gonna focus all our efforts in the engine and frame department, as that's where we seem to have started. So it's not this gentleman. Let's have a look at. So he's still not as good as Tess. Not really. He's electronics. So we'll stay with Tess. Unless we got a different engineer here. So no, so he's electronics as well. So we will stay with our technical chief engineer and our data analyst for now. So quick look in our development standings, because it looks like we're going into the sale circuit now to do some testing. So let's just make sure we've got things in the right place. So all of our installation and our development is done, so it tells us there, look, it's got a nice new icon for people going to sleep. Our staff are twiddling their thumbs. So let's hop over to research, and we're going to hit the Y button this time and see where it distributes our engineers. Yes, we do. So that's put all our staff back into where they should be in the research space. So that leaves us now then week 10 to go into Le Sale, the Barwar Grand Prix. So let's head off into there and let's go and do our first session. Let's go and have a look for the first time. Let's see what we need to do. I think we'll go into testing first, I think, is what we will do. In fact, I think what we will do is we'll leave it here, guys, for this episode. It's been quite a long episode and a detailed look at the career mode and the initial setup. So we'll leave it here for here, guys, and we shall continue in episode 2. So thanks for watching. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and we'll get cracking on the real career mode at the Barwar race in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye bye.